So this is going to be just a little strange because this is structured like an actual free response test. So if you look at this, find the function where the function is increasing. I'm just going to go through a couple of these like hints for you guys, and then I'll actually do what I think is probably the hardest one. So function is increasing, so I want f prime, right? Then I want f prime equal to 0, and then I want the chart. For relative min and relative max, once I have the chart, you can say by the chart in 1A, then blah, 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 blah. And then you can find your y coordinates to every one of your critical numbers. Okay, and I wanted max and min. So just make sure that if something's not a max or min, that you have to actually tell me that one isn't a max or min. Concave up, so I want a derivative. I want a second derivative, and then I want a double derivative equal to 0, and then I want the chart with f double prime. Here I want implicit. Oh my gosh, I cannot write. Differentiation. Then I want dy dx with evaluated at 2, -1. And then I want point slope form with this coordinate point. Nope. And there. Minimum y coordinate of the graph. Because this is implicit, I need to use the second derivative test to find the minimum y coordinate. And then now, I think this one is probably the harder one. I want x-intercepts of the graph, so I want to set this equal to 0. So when I do this, sine of x gets factored out. I have sine of x minus 1. So then sine is equal to 0, and sine is, and sine of x minus 1 is equal to 0. So sine is equal to 1 and 0. So sine is equal to 0 at, in that interval, 0 and pi, not 2 pi. And then this is at pi over 2. F is increasing, so I want a derivative. So I want to sine x cosine x minus cosine x. Minus cosine x. So 0 is equal to cosine of x gets factored out. I have left with 2 sine x minus 1. So then cosine is equal to 0, and then 2 sine x minus 1 is equal to 0. So sine of x is equal to 1/2. Just do this so you don't mess it up. So the sine of 1/2 is the 30-degree angle, so that is pi over 6. And then it's also positive in quadrant 2, so that's also 5 pi over 6. Cosine of x is equal to 0 when x is equal to pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. So then I'm going to do the chart. And then I'll be able to tell whether or not the function is increasing. Don't forget that you do have an interval, so your chart is going to go from like 0 to pi over 6, and then pi over 6 to pi over 2, and then pi over 2 to 5 pi over 6, and then 5 pi over 6 to 3 pi over 2, and then that's where it ends. And it should be close bracket there. Okay, absolute. So my absolute, max, and min, you're going to take your chart from the chart in part B, blah, 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 blah. And then you're going to find f of pi over 6, f of pi over 2, f of 5 pi over 6, f of 3 pi over 2, and then that's one endpoint, so the other endpoint is 0, so f of 0. And then you'll be able to tell me what your absolute maxes and mins are. Okay, and that's it for the odd numbered questions.